it's Charlton who will get us off and underway at the Valley as the season nears its conclusion. Jodie Hutton, formerly of Aston Villa, signed last summer from Sheffield United, the Charlton number 12. 6 goals and 3 assists for her this term in the Championship. Quite a return in her first season in South East London. She takes the throw in, but it's headed away. Hutton again. Hutton gets the dangerous cross in. It evades Moya. Drops to Sieber and hacks away. Hutton gets the foot back in. Phyllis picks it up. He's back with Jodie Hutton once more. Another dangerous cross comes in towards Karen Moya. The Newcastle defence holds firm again. Decent start from Charlton. Skeels, former Reading player, the Charlton captain, picks it up. Put under a bit of pressure by Shania Hales, who's done so well in her first season as a Newcastle player since joining from Bristol City last summer. Shania Hales, Jamaica international. I'm sure she'll be looking forward to the possibility of playing against England in that friendly announced last week. The Lionesses' final fixture before Euro 2025 will be a friendly against Jamaica, who did so well at the last World Cup, didn't they? Getting out of that group that had France and Brazil in. Skeels does well again for Charlton. A good foot in by Hannah Greenwood. Newsham with the throw for Charlton, finds Karen Moya. Phyllis, signed permanently from West Ham last summer, did Mel Phyllis, having spent the end of the previous season on loan. Stokes goes long for Newcastle. And Dow is there to head away. And it's Phyllis once more, who's been really busy in these very early stages. Ball has just forced Hutton a little wider than she'd have liked, but she's done well to keep it in and threads a lovely ball through to Gloria Sieber. Sieber back to Hutton. Hutton again with her third dangerous cross of the afternoon, and she's led to a corner eventually on that far side. Really fine whips cross in from Hutton. We had a late drama when they met before Christmas. Charlton were 3-1 down in stoppage time. They came back to rescue a 3-3 draw. Are we going to get early drama here? Charlton have started so well. And they have an early corner. Moya pretty much on the touchline. Sieber on the edge of the 6-yard box. Oh, and it's eluded Claudia Moan, but Newcastle get away with it. And Dow will let that trickle out. Former Aston Villa player, spent many a year at Villa, did the Charlton number 5. It'll be the Charlton number 3. Newsham to take the throw. Hales, decent touch by her to Murphy, the Ireland international. Murphy turns back. Gregory with a decent cross in. Hales with a header. It's straight into the arms of Sophie Whitehouse. Lovely run from Shania Hales. Got herself into the perfect position. And Gregory did so well to pick her out with the perfect cross too. Hales would have hoped to have done rather better. Headed that either side of Whitehouse and it would have been the opener surely. But it was straight at the Charlton goalkeeper, who joined from Lewis last summer. Sophie Whitehouse starting her 15th Championship game of the season this afternoon. Jessica Gray on the bench has started the other 4. Long ball forward, too far in advance of Hutton, and it's out for a Newcastle throw. As I mentioned at kickoff, these two teams for so long right in the promotion battle. The battle that's featured the top 7 for so much of the season, but it has finally come down pretty much really to the top 2. London City Lionesses were 5 points ahead of Birmingham, but having played a game more, theoretically Durham could still finish top, but that would take a goal difference miracle. Durham in 4th place behind Charlton, but with a game in hand. So it looks like it'll be London City Lionesses or Birmingham City going up to the WSL. Here's Phyllis for Charlton. Hutton. Oh, really good ball through to Moya. Moya just about keeps it in. No, it's gone out, it's gone behind. And it'll be a Newcastle goal kick. You can see Birmingham against Durham on the YouTube channel, Barclays Women's Championship YouTube channel this afternoon. 2 o'clock kickoff straight after this one wraps up. Birmingham looking to narrow that 5-point gap to London City Lionesses, the leaders. Durham with the faintest of faint promotion hopes themselves. A big win if they were to get it away to Birmingham, given that they still have London City Lionesses to play as well. Durham would mean they were still just about in the fight. Verness does really well to scamper across and collect that for Newcastle, but she's loose with the pass, she gives it away, and Charlton with the opportunity to break, but the ball is too far ahead of Phyllis. Cyber rather, who was giving chase. Gloria Cyber, the Hungarian, only 21 years old. And she had a decent campaign last year with the Charlton reserves and under-21s. Regularly trained with the senior team, having caught the eye of Karen Hills. Gloria Cyber, and this term she's been a fixture in the squad. Charlton continuing their very bright starts. They've had the greater possession. They spent most of the game in the Newcastle half. Here's Demi Stokes being forced back again, but she does well to wriggle away and clears it off the outside of her left boot. But it's the Charlton throw. You see the Newcastle manager Becky Langley at the edge of her technical area. A woman who's led Newcastle up from Tier 4 to Tier 2. And you imagine it's not going to be too long, given their ambition, before Newcastle are part of the WSL. Stokes with the throw for Newcastle. Picks out McQuaid. Jasmine McQuaid on the ball here. Rolls it inside. Wardlaw. Back to Greenwood. Greenwood goes all the way to Moan. Rather hurried clearance by Moan. It's given away and picked up by Moya. Newsham now. It's got Brazil and Cyber lurking in the box, and she's done really well to hold on to it. Newsham with the cross in. Kept in by Gregory. In the end, it does go out of play. It's another Charlton throw. Newsham to take. Signed last summer from Sheffield United, did Newsham. She's found Cyber. Cyber goes back to Newsham. Newsham with the cross in. Just went beyond Bradley, couldn't bring it under control. Casey Bradley, Charlton's number 7. Also joined last summer from Blackburn, where she had a short stint after returning to England from the US college system. It's a break on here for Newcastle. Lovely ball to pick out McQuaid. McQuaid to Murphy. Murphy gets away from Brazil. Still Murphy, but in the end, Charlton get bodies back. And they just close that route down for Emily Murphy. The ball is given away again by Newcastle, just as momentum was looking to build. Their first bright little patch of the game, really, for the visitors. Charlton are on a 9-match unbeaten run, stretching back to their 2-1 defeat here to Bristol City in November. That was their last championship defeat. They started the season really well. They just went off the boil for a couple of months, though, and that's cost them really ultimately. Gregory keeps it in and tries to pick out Hales. Didn't quite manage to do so. Moyer for Charlton. Stokes can only head it out for a Charlton throw. Charlton started the season so well. They're in great form again, but they just had that wobble in the middle. And it is ultimately what proves costly. Newcastle too, just in recent weeks, inconsistent. They're winning one and then drawing or losing, and winning one, and it's just been that failure to string a sequence of wins together. That means they never quite managed to get themselves right in the thick of the promotion battle. Newsham with the throw in once more. She was Sheffield United's Player of the Year back in 2022-23. Occasionally wore the armband for the Blades as well, did Charlotte Newsham. Scotland under-23 international. She's been bright in these early stages down the right-hand side for Charlton. Just a reminder of the team lineups. Sophie Whitehouse in goal for Charlton. Alicia Dow, Kira Skills the captain, and Gracie Pearce, 3 at the back for Charlton. Charlotte Newsham wide on the right. Mel Phillips, Casey Bradley in the centre of the park, and Jodie Hutton on the left for Charlton. Karen Moyer, Ellie Brazil, and Gloria Cyber is on the ball here up top. Cyber finds Phyllis. Phyllis back to Cyber. It's given away though. McQuaid picks it up. Gives away the free kick though, did McQuaid. Charlton free kick. Newcastle starting lineup. Claudia Moan in goal. Charlotte Wardlaw, Hannah Greenwood, Deanna Cooper and Demi Stokes the back 4. Rachel Furness and Freya Gregory holding midfielders. Beth Lumsden against her former club. Jasmine McQuaid, Emily Murphy. The 3 in support of Shania Hales up top. Shania Hales with a hat-trick in the reverse fixture. 3-all draw. And the Championship's second highest scorer so far this term with 11 goals. It's going to be a Newcastle free kick. Charlton haven't been so impressive at home, and Newcastle have struggled a bit on the road. They haven't won any of their last 6 away in all competitions, Newcastle. I'm hoping that can change this afternoon as Lumsden whips the free kick in, and the volley from Furness clatters into a Charlton body. And referee Julia Kings is just going to come and check on Alicia Dow. He bravely stood firm to block that shot, but looks rather winded. I think she's going to be okay, she's indicating to the referee. Newcastle's last away win was 2-0 at Birmingham. Quite a result. Birmingham haven't dropped too many points. That was back on the 3rd of November. Feel-good factor around the Valley too, with Charlton men having secured at least a playoff spot on Good Friday. Greenwood for Newcastle. Moya wins the Charlton free kick. Charlton men in League One, of course. The Premier League club not all that long ago. They're looking to work their way up the men's football pyramid, as are Charlton in the women's game. Charlton play all their home matches here at the Valley, the only London club in the WSL or the Championship that's connected to a men's club to play at the club's main grounds as a regular home. Greenwood for Newcastle, back to Moan. Championship Player of the Year last season was Claudia Moan. That's quite something for a goalkeeper when she was with Sunderland. Made the switch across the northeast in the summer. A bit of a surprise switch. Didn't go down well with a lot of Sunderland fans to see her join their main rivals. Won the Golden Glove last year as well, did Claudia Moan in the Championship. She's had a decent first campaign between the sticks for the Magpies. Burness heads it on to Murphy. Murphy does really well to stretch away. Still Emily Murphy, heavy touch though. Oh, she's managed to almost pick out Gregory. But Whitehouse was really alert in the Charlton goal. Sprinted to the edge of her area and perfected the clearance. Newsham to pick it up for Charlton. Finds Moya. Moya with the return to Newsham. Newsham lays it off to Bradley. Lovely ball from Bradley to Moya. Moya returns it to Bradley. Bradley takes the tumble. No appeal. Decent challenge it must have been then from McQuaid. Timed it really well, did Jasmine McQuaid. Because if she'd got that even slightly wrong, it would have been a Charlton spot kick. From the McQuaid interception, it's a Charlton corner. Loops in towards Moya. Moan can't gather it. Drops to Newsham, scrambled away by Newcastle. That's twice now that Newcastle haven't looked all that convincing defending Charlton set pieces. Hales. It's picked up by Brazil. Flicks off with Furness's hand, but it was accidental. It's going to be a Newcastle free kick for the foul on Murphy. Lumsden takes short, back to Greenwood. Greenwood once more. Oh, it's gone under the foot of Charlotte Wardlaw, and out for a Charlton throw, which Hutton will take. Jody Hutton has started every championship game this season. 6 goals, 3 assists. Takes the throw in, comes back to Hutton. She's won her side. Another throw in as they advance down the left-hand flank. Skeels rolls it across to Dow. Dow and Hutton were formerly teammates at Aston Villa, now reunited at Charlton. Moan goes long this time. Skeels wins the header. Picked up by Cyber. Cyber tries to loop it out to Moya, but Stokes gets there for Newcastle and is really strong up. She's given it away though. Brazil wriggles away from Stokes. It's back with Moya, takes the shot on. Well over the bar. Decent move, and Ellie Brazil did really well to get away from Stokes, but couldn't pick out Newsham with the attempted pass. Carrie Moya joined the summer before last from London City Lionesses. Got 3 goals for Charlton last season, did Carrie Moya. She's already matched that with 1 game and a bit to go now, this campaign. 3 championship goals for Karen Moya this season. She was well off target with that effort from just outside the box moments ago. Billis. Halfway through the first half, still goalless. Quite a surprise, really, given that these 2 teams certainly have not struggled for goals this season. Skeels smashes that one out to the right flank where Newsham picks it up. Stokes with the interception for Newcastle, and Dow with the header for Charlton. Bradley, lovely ball through to Brazil. Brazil with a nice first touch, but didn't get the power on the shot. Hutton with a lovely low finish. Squeezes it home at the near post. She did so well to execute the shot so quickly before Claudia Moan really had the chance to set herself in the Newcastle goal. And Jody Hutton fires home her 7th championship goal of the campaign. Moya did really well to keep the attack alive. But what a finish from Jody Hutton. And Charlton have the lead that their early dominance deserves. And it felt almost like a goal from out of nothing. It didn't feel like Jody Hutton was necessarily in the right position to take that shot on, but she did so well to sense the opportunity and zip it low across the valley turf and in at the near post. Gracie Pearce with a bit of defending here to do straight away for Charlton. after their lead. Gracie Pearce signed permanently from Tottenham last summer, having spent the end of last campaign on loan from Spurs. Here's McQuaid for Newcastle, looking for an instant response. Murphy now squeezes it through, just a little bit too much on the pass. Had the right idea. Sophie Whitehouse just tries to take the sting out of it. It's been a really good response from Newcastle to going behind. Back to Whitehouse. Phillips. The Dow to Skeels. Dow back inside to Skeels. Newsham sends it long. Brazil leaps. Cyber. Cyber back to Phyllis. Newsham inside to Moya. Gregory comes back for Newcastle. And launches it long. Skeels to Endow once more. Brazil takes it away from Cooper, finds Moya. Good run from Moya. The high hanging cross. Did it take a deflection? No, it's a goal kick. Well, the Charlton front line has been really lively, really impressive start to the game. Moya, Brazil, Cyber, all making an impact. Hutton with the goal in the 24th minute. Cyber with the assist for it. Both Moya and Cyber did really well to keep the attack alive when twice it may have been snuffed out. And Cyber with the lovely pass to pick out Hutton, whose finish was exquisite. It's 3 assists for Gloria Cyber now in the Championship. She's only started this her second start. She's had 5 substitute appearances as well. Really beginning to play herself into Karen Hill's thinking now is the 21-year-old Hungarian when it comes to starting more Charlton games. Therefore, with the low shot, it struck the post. Oh, not far away at all. Did really well to work the room for the shot. Took a couple of awkward bounces off the turf, and Whitehouse was sprawling across to get there, but off the base of the post. Must have got a touch, either off her fingertips or off a Charlton boot on its way through, because it is a Newcastle corner. Another chance to swing it in. It's back to Gregory. Gregory's attempted cross is cut out by Newsham, who flung herself at it. Hales is going to get on the end of this, but the flag is up. Newcastle have just upped it in the last few minutes. They've had to, because they're chasing down a Charlton lead now. Skeels to Endow. Murphy rather unsettled her, but Endow did well to pick out Moya. Those clearances hurried and it goes straight to Moya, but now it's with Newcastle's Jasmine McQuaid. Newsham's had a great start to this game, the Charlton number 3, both in a defensive and attacking sense. Skeels smashes that one out for a Newcastle throw. Which Stokes, a WSL champion with Manchester City back in 2016, takes. And it's back now with Demi Stokes. Tried to feed it through to Gregory, but put too much on the pass, and Dow was able to get across. Another throw for Newcastle, again taken by Stokes. Greenwood. Back to Mo. Hales with a layoff to Lumsden. Lumsden, lovely pass through to Hales. Back to Lumsden with the shot. Just couldn't get enough on it. And it's a comfortable one for Whitehouse, but she's been busier in the last 3 minutes than she has in the 28 that preceded it. Lumsden just didn't get hold of that properly. Burness. Bradley can't bring it under control. And the long-range shot this time straight down the throat once more of Whitehouse, but this is good from Newcastle. Exactly the response that Becky Langley would have wanted to see. Billis for Charlton. Tries to send it through to Moya. Great work again by Newsham, who won it back, found Moya, and then receives the return. Oh, and it's a clattered clearance from Wardlaw, which almost gave Charlton another opportunity. Newsham again. All the way back to Skeels and down now. Hutton, the goal scorer. Still Jodie Hutton. Hutton with another one of those trademark crosses in from the left-hand side. Drops to Furness. Skeels got away with one there, rather. She swung a boot at it, hopeful boot. And it could have gone anywhere, but fortunately for her, it went back to her goalkeeper, Whitehouse. Hales. McQuaid. Oh, it was Lumsden, in fact, with the drive. Beth Lumsden caught it ever so well. But just couldn't bring it inside that upright. Lovely first touch from Lumsden. So much power behind the strike. There was another save from Whitehouse. Newcastle corner. Julia King's referee just having words with Murphy. Warner for Newcastle. Decent response to going behind just over 10 minutes ago now. In it comes from Gregory, headed away. Knocks back into the danger zone. And Dow gets ahead on it. Hooper's there for Newcastle. Furness wins. Well, I thought she'd won another corner, but it's a goal kick, says the referee. Sophie Whitehouse has been really alert in these last few minutes. Harming Murphy's shot onto the post and behind. They had a couple fired straight at her, but her positioning was spot on. And then just recently appearing to get a fingertip to Lumsden's rocket shot from just outside the box. She had two really fine seasons with Lewis prior to joining Charlton last summer, did Sophie Whitehouse. Player of the Year awards she took aplenty at club level across those two campaigns. Still waiting for a Republic of Ireland debut, Sophie Whitehouse, but she has been called up to squads, eligible for Ireland through her mum. Was born in England, grew up in Kenya and Tanzania before heading to the USA when she was 9. Well travelled, Sophie Whitehouse. Very much enjoying life between the sticks in southeast London now. Lumsden. Back to McQuaid. McQuaid, who was fouled, and the referee attempted to play advantage and then quite rightly called it back because Phyllis had grabbed hold of McQuaid's left arm. But I wonder whether Lumsden might fancy a crack from here. She looked to take it quickly, but Julia Kings, the referee, said she was already pacing out the wall. And that might work in Newcastle's favour because Lumsden can hit them. Gregory's there too. The way they're set up here, it looks more like it'll be Lumsden to loop it across. Well, she's changed her position. She is going to take the shot on. Or when it's low and into the base of the wall. Pearce gives it away. Murphy picks it up for Newcastle. Here's Murphy. Still Emily Murphy. Dinks it over the top. Lovely ball from Murphy to Hales. Oh, and great goalkeeping once more from Whitehouse. And the flag's gone up anyway. What a ball this was from Emily Murphy. So intelligent. The flag was up. Hales must have just been offside. And Whitehouse, again, read the situation really well. And I don't think that was in any danger of being a penalty. She got the ball, did the Charlton goalkeeper. It wouldn't have been anyway because Hales was offside. But it has been a really good response from Newcastle to going behind. Lumsden again's really come into the game in this last 10 minutes. Furness. Oh, Furness so strong to charge her way through. Back with Lumsden again. Lovely footwork from Lumsden. Has to play it short to Furness. Greenwood. Wardlaw. Wardlaw dinks it into Hales. Hales with a lovely first touch once more. She's appealing for the corner. And it is going to be a Newcastle corner. Charlton probably already thinking about the sanctuary of half-time. It's still some way off, but they're looking a little tired towards the end of this first half because of the pressure that Newcastle are putting them under. Gregory short to Lumsden. Lumsden hangs the cross up at the back post. Newcastle appealed for another corner. Cooper came charging in with the attempted pullback from that tight angle, but it goes straight out of play, and it will be a Charlton goal kick, and just that chance for a little breather. Sophie Whitehouse in no real hurry to take it. Repositions it. Just over 4 minutes plus added time to play at the end of this first half. Charlton thoroughly deserved the lead when they took it through Jodie Hutton in the 24th minute, but Newcastle have had the better of the game since then. Lumsden. Lumsden to Murphy. Murphy runs into a red wall. But immediately Newcastle come again. Cooper to Furness. Furness through the middle to McQuaid, but Phillips wins it back for Charlton and plays it back to Skeels, but it's given away. Lumsden picks it up. Lumsden through the middle to Hales. Hales with the shot that flicks up off of Endow and Skeels and into the arms of Whitehouse. Hales just beginning to find those pockets of space now between the Charlton defenders. Player who's caused pretty much every defence she's faced this season problems has Shania Hales. And Charlton shuts her out for the entire game. We'll have to see. Can they give themselves a 2-goal cushion before the break? It's kept alive, but it is cleared by Newcastle, and Gregory will surge down the left-hand flank now. She's forced back by Moya, tries to pick out Furness. It goes through instead to McQuaid, but Charlton win it back. Whitehouse to Endow. Endow to Newsham. Gregory does really well for the visitors and goes back. Oh, she's given it away though. She's given it away to Brazil. Brazil takes a shot on, good save by Moan. Really fine stop from the Newcastle keeper. Made sure she didn't go down too early. What a howler, almost given away. And Ellie Brazil will have fancied perhaps she could have taken it on a bit further. A player who's got 8 goals this season. I think Ellie Brazil might be slightly disappointed she didn't do a bit more with that opportunity. Charlton do have a corner though. They do have a bit of respite from the sea of Newcastle pressure that's been washing their way over the last 10 minutes. The corner is hung up high, it's headed away. Hales tries to complete the clearance, but it falls to Bradley, who finds Phillips. Stokes with the interception for Newcastle. And it comes off a Charlton boot for a Newcastle throw-in. It has been a really entertaining first half. Both sides have played ever so well in spells. Seen just a 1 goal, but it was a lovely one. Really well taken by Jodie Hutton. Furness to Murphy. Murphy sends it long, too long. It's all the way through to Whitehouse. Skeels sends it out to Newsham on the right flank. Newsham tries to pick out Brazil, but Green was there for Newcastle. Drops to Hutton. Cyber does really well. Lumsden also defends really well, gets back for Newcastle and knocks it behind for another Charlton corner. Can Charlton pinch a second just before the break? It would be rather harsh on Newcastle if they go in 2 goals down. Furness heads it away and the half-time whistle goes. Penultimate game of the season for Charlton. Newcastle will still have 2 to play after this. Both of them saw their promotion hopes finally fizzle out on Friday night when London City Lionesses beat Southampton 4-1. Either Charlton in 3rd place or Newcastle in 6th place can now catch London City Lionesses. Realistically, only Birmingham, 5 points adrift of the leaders with a game in hand, could possibly overhaul them. They play each other on the final day, do Birmingham and London City Lionesses. Incidentally, Birmingham in action live on the Barclays Women's Championship YouTube channel at 2 o'clock straight after this one. Here's Gregory for Newcastle. Hacked away by Charlton. Drops to Stokes. Stokes fires it back in and Whitehouse clutches that out the air. Yes, Birmingham Durham live on the YouTube channel at 2 o'clock. Durham have the slimmest of mathematical hopes that they could still finish top, but realistically that won't happen. Durham in 4th place. What a thrilling season it's been in the Championship. 7 teams in the thick of the promotion battle until these final weeks. Here's Murphy. Tries to weave her way through. She had one really fine effort, well saved by Whitehouse in the first half. Whitehouse tipped it onto the post and behind. Moya for Charlton. Inside to Newsham. Newsham tries to pick out Brazil. Brazil was denied right at the end of that first half by Claudia Moan in the Newcastle goal. Newsham, who just thread that ball through to her, probably the player of the first half. The wide right player for Charlton, so heavily involved in the opening period. A reminder of the teams. Charlton, Whitehouse in goal and Dow, Skeels the captain and Pearce the back 3. Newsham wide on the right, Phyllis, Bradley and Hutton the goal scorer across the middle, and up top Moya, Brazil in the centre and Cyber on the left. Newcastle Moan with the goal kick here. Wardlaw, Greenwood, Cooper and Stokes the back 4. Stokes the captain today with Amber Keegan-Stobbs not involved, former Charlton player. Furness and Gregory, the holding midfielders. Then Lumsden, McQuaid and Murphy in support of Shania Hales. Hales with 11 goals to her name this season, signed from Bristol City last summer. 2nd top scorer in the Championship behind only Isabel Goodwin of London City Lionesses, who has 14. Cyber. Still Cyber for Charlton. Lays it off and the ball through was behind Moya. Options on the bench for Newcastle as they seek an equaliser. Attacking options, Katie Barker, long-time servant of the club. Goals are plenty in tiers 4 and 3, but yet to find the net for Newcastle in the Championship. Amy Andrews, signed from Durham last summer. She's got 2 goals and 2 assists this term, has Andrews. 7 starts, 7 from the bench in the Championship. Isabella Sibley, more of a midfield player. Got a couple of goals last weekend and has 3 to her name in the Championship, the former Crystal Palace player. Those the players that Becky Langley might have to turn to as Newsham feeds it through to Bradley. Bradley pulls it back to Moya. Lovely footwork from Moya, tried to curl it in, bend it in at that far post. Didn't manage to get the bend on it. Karim Moya. Signed a new 1-year deal last summer after a positive first season, having joined from London City Lionesses in the summer of 2023. Did win the FA Youth Trophy when she was at Chelsea way back in the day. Made her senior debut for the Blues back in 2013. A couple of WSL appearances for her in her Chelsea days. Karen Moyer, now 30 years old. Brazil with space for Charlton, takes a shot on again. It's too close to Moan. But Charlton, well, in fact, it's going to be, it is a corner, but Ellie Brazil voicing her displeasure at something there. I thought maybe the decision had gone against her. But it's a Charlton corner, which Jodie Hutton, the goal scorer, is going to take. 5 minutes into the second half. Cluster of bodies at the far post. Hutton whips it in. Newcastle clear it away. And Dow sends it out to Hutton. And Hutton's pass has too much on it for Newsham. Moan rolls it out to Cooper. Cooper fires it long and it's flicked on. And Dow and Newsham between them. And Pearce force the ball out for a Charlton throw-in. It's another Charlton throw. Brazil wins another Charlton throw. She leaves it for Hutton. Hutton launches it long. Headed on by Brazil. It's behind for a Newcastle goal kick. It's not been a bad game, but we haven't had quite the drama that we saw when the teams played each other earlier this season, although much of that drama did come late on, back on the 20th of October at Kingston Park, where it finished Newcastle United 3, Charlton Athletic 3. Gregory for Newcastle. There was the Shania Hales hat-trick for Newcastle that day, including one from the spot. Newcastle led 2-0 at the break, with Hales having struck twice in the opening quarter of an hour. Katie Bradley pulled one back 4 minutes into the second half, but Hales' penalty in the 68th minute looked to have won the day at 3-1 for Newcastle. They then had captain, former Charlton player Amber Keegan-Stobbs, sent off in the 83rd minute. Still, it looked like Newcastle had held on, but in the 4th minute of added time, Kayleigh Barton pulled one back for 3-2, and a minute later, 5th minute of added time, Katie Bradley latched onto Ellie Brazil's through ball and tied the scores at 3-all. What an afternoon that was. Will we get similar thrills and spills in the second period here at the Valley? Here's Gregory for Newcastle. Takes it away from Newsham. Still Gregory. She's forced wide by Endow, and in the end it's a hopeful pass through which just trundles to Whitehouse. Quite some game, wasn't it, when Charlton were last in action as well, back on the 30th of March. Not played since then, partly because of the international break and then the free weekend for the FA Cup. There were 4-3 winners at Sunderland in their last match, Charlton. Really have had some topsy-turvy games this year. They were 4-0 up at half-time. Sunderland nearly rescued a point. Free kick for the foul by Newsham on Hales. Ellie Brazil and Jodie Hutton both with a brace last time out. And Sunderland nearly rescuing a point through Natasha Fenton, Mary McAteer, and Ellie Jones with a penalty a minute from time. Jodie Hutton's goal in the first half has put Charlton above London City Lionesses as the top scorers in the division so far this campaign. They're 36th of the season. Here's Gregory with the free kick for Newcastle. It's going to go all the way through to Whitehouse, who handles that expertly. Stokes makes sure she can't get the distribution away quickly. Gregory hung up the free kick, but really alert goalkeeping from Whitehouse. Burness. Long ball out to Gregory, who's got space down this left-hand flank. Looks to take on Dow. Dow holds firm, forces her back. Gregory flicks it off of Dow and out for a Newcastle corner. Alicia and Dow not happy with that decision, but it did look to me that Julia Kings, the referee, got that spot on. Newcastle corner. We haven't seen quite the zip and energy that we saw from both sides in the first half yet in this second period. It's been a little bit flat at the start of this second half. Corner in, finds its way to the far post. Stokes tries to latch onto it close to the penalty spot. Greenwood all the way back to Moan. Skeels, the Charlton captain, is there with a header, but it drops to Lumsden. Oh, lovely work from Lumsden. And again, can she get the shot away? Oh, well, it deserved better than that, because it was a really skilled build-up from Lumsden. Sophie Whitehouse just receiving a bit of treatment. Well, we can have a look back at the goal that separates the teams as we stand. 24th minute, Ellie Brazil's shot blocked by Cooper. Moya did really well to win it back. And what a pass from Cyber to Jodie Hutton, whose first touch was magnificent. The second even better, to arrow it in at the near post. Triple change for Newcastle. Amy Andrews, former Durham player, replaces Jasmine McQuaid. Lois Joel also entering the fray. Wardlaw departs, and Olivia Watts is the third Newcastle player to come on as well. So triple change for Becky Langley. She looks to shake things up going into the final half hour. So Freya Gregory, the player to depart for Amy Andrews, signed from Durham last summer. Corner to Newcastle as they seek an equaliser at the Valley. In it comes and headed down. Charlton scrambling away. And Newcastle have a penalty. Well, they have an opportunity here. And the card is coming out too. A booking for Gloria Cyber, who's given away a penalty. So what an opportunity for Newcastle. Lumsden places the ball on the spot. In fact, it's Hales. She scored a penalty when these teams met back in the autumn. On that occasion, it put Newcastle 3-1 up in a game that ended 3-3. This time, she's looking to bring Newcastle level with what would be her 12th championship goal of the season. Whitehouse, who's had a fine game between the sticks. For Charlton, stands up tall against Shania Hales. Hales again, Whitehouse, and Hales expertly guides that home. A coolly taken penalty. Side-footed with the left boots. Waited for Whitehouse to commit herself. Shania Hales has her 12th championship goal of the campaign. Coolly taken penalty to bring the Magpies level.
Double substitution, please show your appreciation. Number 3, Charlotte Newsham. Replacing Charlotte is number 20.
Charlotte Newsham has had a great game.
Please show your appreciation.
But it sounds like she is departing. Mel Phillis goes off for Mary Bashford.
Mel, please welcome 22, Beth Rowe.
Beth Rowe, Charlton's number 22. Also coming on. Beth Rowe replacing Charlotte Newsham, who has had a terrific afternoon. Being involved at the heart of everything for Charlton. She makes way for Beth Rowe. Joel for Newcastle. She tried to roll it through to Lumsden. Lumsden wins the Newcastle throw-in. To Murphy. Cooper now for Newcastle. Stokes. Andrews tries to guide it through to Joel. Stokes with the throw-in. Furness is knocked down. Charlton have it back. Cyber. Clattered away, and it'll be the Newcastle throw. Burness inside to Stokes. Stokes slips as she tried to get the pass away, and that allowed Moyer to pick up the loose ball. Andrews inside to Cooper. Cooper launches it long. Stokes gives chase, and Dow tries to get there. Whitehouse comes all the way out of her area, and the clearance goes into the back of Dow. And it'll be a Newcastle throw. Stokes takes it to Andrews. Andrews inside to Murphy. Murphy rolls it out to Greenwood. Murphy again has the ball. And finds Joel, the Wales international. Joel back to Furness. Stokes. Well, Newcastle just seem to be able to control this game a bit better now than Charlton. Greater patterns to their play. Here's Murphy. Murphy inside. Almost picks out Hales. Then it came back to Joel, but she couldn't bring it under control. Sustained pressure this from Newcastle, but Julia Kings wants to go and check on a Charlton player who's down. And let's have a look at the penalty with which Newcastle pulled themselves level. Shania Hales, really well taken. 65th minute penalty, her 12th goal of the season, her second from the spot, bringing Newcastle level. They trailed since the 24th minute when Jodie Hutton gave Charlton the lead. Drinks break as a Charlton defender receives treatment. Just a reminder, Charlton have made a couple of substitutions with Mary Bashford on for Mel Phillips and Beth Rowe on for Charlotte Newsham. And 3 substitutions for Newcastle. Liv Watts replacing Charlotte Wardlaw, Amy Andrews on for Freya Gregory, and Lois Joel on for Jasmine McQuaid.
Code is on the screen now.
5 substitutes permitted, of course, these days, so plenty of scope for more changes. Alicia and Dow, Karen Moyer and Katie Bradley getting a drink for Charlton. They've worked really hard this afternoon. Well, both teams have. With the season nearing its conclusion now. Charlton not in action next weekend, but they do play their final match on May the 4th, as do all the teams in the Championship. They're away at Southampton. Newcastle, they're home to Birmingham next weekend, and then they finish up away at Blackburn. Looks like it's Jodie Hutton who's down. There's going to be a fair bit of stoppage time at the end of this game. She's back on her feet, the Charlton goal scorer, but she is in a bit of pain. She's hobbling off with the support of the Charlton medical staff. It doesn't look like she's going to be able to continue. Sophie O'Rourke comes on for Jodie Hutton. Sophie O'Rourke has made 12 appearances from the bench now in the Championship this season. The 25-year-old hasn't started a league game, but a regular substitute for the Addicts. Stokes to Lumsden, returns it to Stokes, feeds it off to Joel. It went under the foot of Joel, but she recovers. And under pressure from O'Rourke. Picks out Lumsden briefly, but Charlton win it back. Burness just manages to keep it in and does well to weave it through to Stokes. Stokes' ball asked too much of Joel, but Newcastle have a throw. They look the better place to go on and win this game, having come from behind. They have the greater zip about them. They seem to have the greater composure in possession too. Liv Watt, one of the Newcastle substitutes, introduced on the hour mark, the Newcastle number 5. It'll be a Newcastle throw. Cooper to Murphy. Murphy's pushed over, so it'll be a Newcastle free kick in the centre circle for the push by Moyer on Murphy. Cooper will take, steals a few yards. Murphy rolls it back to Cooper. Cooper out to the right-hand flank, where Watts sends it through, but with too much pace, and it's out for a Charlton goal kick. It's given away again. It'll be another Newcastle throw. High hanging cross, almost drops to Lumsden. Burness picks out Joel. Joel tries to feed it through to Hales, but Skeels read it really well. Watts almost comes through to Stokes. Hales looks to gobble up the loose ball, but Charlton scramble it clear. Drops to Cooper. Furness. Furness picks out Hales, header down, and well saved again by Whitehouse. Again, Hales did so well to take up the position. Such an intelligent player. Once more, though, I think she'll feel she could have done better with the header. Twice now. She's made the right move. Teammates have picked her out really well. It was Gregory in the first half. And both times she hasn't got the power or the accuracy on the header that she's capable of. Stokes. Newcastle come again. Lumsden. Lumsden takes on Rowe. Oh, lovely reverse ball. Didn't quite manage to find Hales. Free kick goes Charlton's way this time. They'll be grateful of that. They've really been under the cosh this last 5 or 10 minutes. They just don't seem to be able to keep hold of the ball. Newcastle rather smothering them now. Stokes with the throw for the visitors. Murphy. It's gone out for another Newcastle throw. Andrews keeps it in on that far side, but it's at the expense of a free kick given away. Charlton free kick. Dow. Rowe. Drops again to Rowe, who heads it on. Hales is knocked to the turf, and it will be a Newcastle free kick. Burness wants to take it quickly, but Charlton got bodies round her to make sure that couldn't happen. Cooper now launches it long. Watts with the throw, picks out Murphy, back to Watts. Inside to Joel. Murphy again. Still Emily Murphy does really well to work room for the cross, and it's headed back by Lumsden. Straight to Whitehouse. Lumsden's grown into the game. She was nominated for the March Championship Player of the Month award. That went to Durham's Amy Claypole. who got 5 goals during the month of March, keeping a brace in 2 minutes in the game against Newcastle. So perhaps no surprise that Amy Claypole won that Player of the Month award, but Beth Lumsden among the nominees. That was Charlton's Gracie Pearce, in fact. Goal of the month went to Sunderland's Natasha Fenton for a goal against Charlton in that 4-3 match on March the 30th, the match that Charlton won 4-3. Jodie Hutton and of Charlton and Beth Lumsden of Newcastle were also among the nominees for their goals during the month of March. Here's Murphy. Murphy tries to pick out Hales, didn't quite get it right. Into the final 10, there'll be a fair bit of added time for that injury which led to the departure of Jodie Hutton. Plenty of time for either team to go on and win this. Newcastle look the more likely to do so. Here's Lumsden. I think she meant it. I think she saw that Whitehouse had just started to come and fancied her chances of hanging one up and dropping it in at that far corner, and wasn't all that far away. Charlton just look like they're hanging on a bit now. They look a little weary. Moya. Down. Pearce. Pearce brings it across the halfway line, and there's a slip which leads to the loss of possession and a Newcastle throw. Skeels chases back and rolls it back to Whitehouse. Andrews tries to pick out Furness, and Moira's fouled Furness. It'll be a Newcastle free kick. Julia King's paces out the 10 yards for the position of the Charlton wall. Closing stages at the Valley. Is there going to be late drama, as we've become accustomed to seeing, in fact, in games involving both these teams throughout the season? Lumsden and Joel stand over it. Lumsden, it's going to be to take it. Beth Lumsden. Oh, what a save by Whitehouse. That was a fine effort from Beth Lumsden. And Sophie Whitehouse, who's been on top of her game for Charlton this afternoon. Strong palm. Okay, Lumsden didn't quite get it in the corner, but it had the power on it. And it was dropping beneath that crossbar. And that was a fine save from the Addicks stopper. Corner for Newcastle. If either team deserves to win, you'd have to say, on the evidence now of the second half, it's Newcastle. Charlton bossed the first quarter of the match, but actually since they took the lead, Newcastle are the better of proceedings. And they're looking for a late winner. It's Stokes with a header off the crossbar, drops to Cooper. Cooper tries to pick out Hales, and Charlton survive. Newcastle coming closer and closer now to what they hope will be a late winner. Watt with the throw-in. She's won a corner. Lumsden scurries across to take it quickly. Newcastle sense the momentum is fully theirs now. Joel. Watt. Burness. Brazil does well. Newcastle throw. Into the final 5 plus added time we go. Newcastle desperate to be taking all 3 points on the long journey back to the northeast. They're really going for it. Watt fires it back into Warshales and Dow heads it away. It'll drop to Furness, who took the shot on. Rather ambitious to go for it from there. And shanked it well wide. Charlton really under the cosh in this last 10 minutes. The pressure's just growing and growing. I think they just want to hear the final whistle now, but there's a fair bit of time before that salvation comes for them. Stokes. Stokes inside to Murphy. Joel. Drops to Murphy again, almost threading it through to Hales, but Charlton defence did really well. And is there going to be a smash and grab? Brazil. Oh, and the touch was heavy, and it allowed Cooper to get across. Well, that's what Newcastle do have to be on their guard against, because for all their dominance and pressure, they've not got the second goal, and Charlton do have the quality to break and get a late winner themselves. Lumsden. Lumsden hangs it up into the middle. He was just in advance of Hales, and Skills got across to turn it behind. Three minutes plus added time to play. Just feels like that late Newcastle winner is coming. Is it going to be from this corner? Drops to Murphy. It's claims for handball as Ndow fell, it hit her arm. And the whistle has gone for a free kick in Charlton's favour. Julia Kings is going to book Emily Murphy. Well, in fact, I think it's Hannah Greenwood. It's hard to tell exactly who she showed that to, whether it was Murphy or Greenwood. Charlton free kick. Sophie Whitehouse happy to eke up a few more seconds. Gloria Sieber, who set up the goal, departs. And on comes Janice Chime for her second substitute appearance for Charlton. Into the final minute plus added time. Burness with the header, drops out of play. And it was Emily Murphy who was shown the yellow card for Newcastle. Pearce appealed for the throw-in, but it's gone Newcastle's way. Joel leaves it to Watt to take. Watt picks out Murphy. Murphy strong in the run. Still Emily Murphy does really well to get to the byline and pulls it back. Chine tries to hold it up, but she loses her footing and Newcastle win it back. She has won a free kick for Charlton. 7 minutes of added time. 7 minutes of added time for Newcastle to try and get the winner. They're the team going for the winner. They're the team going for all 3 points. But who knows, Charlton might just get an opportunity against the run of play. Confirmation of those 7 added minutes. Bradley tries to roll it through to O'Rourke. A shot from Bashford isn't all that far away. Just as we were saying, Charlton might just get those opportunities on the break. They've really not created much in this second half, Charlton. But they do have the quality, as the goals for column shows. They've scored more goals than anyone in the division. They can score from all areas of the pitch. They've got so many players capable of finding the nets, have Charlton. And there could yet be another goal in this game for them, much as it's looked more likely that Newcastle will be the scorers of the second goal, if anyone is to be. Charlton throw-in though, taken by Rowe. And Dow. Just suddenly a little more urgency about Charlton's play, almost as they've realised that they don't necessarily have to settle for the points. They've just come alive in these last few seconds. Brazil with a shot. Oh, she skewed it wide. She'll be disappointed with that. Ellie Brazil, former Tottenham player, 8 championship goals this term. But well off target with that effort. Gianna Cooper down on her haunches. And there's going to be a late change here for Newcastle. Double substitution. Furness off and Isabella Sibley on. And also Shania Hales replaced by Katie Barker, long-time servant of Newcastle. Goals galore in tiers 4 and 3, yet to score her first championship goal, Katie Barker. Isabella Sibley came off the bench, got a couple of goals last week in the 6-0 win over Blackburn. Will she make a similar impact in this final 3.5 minutes of added time? Well, here's Brazil for Charlton, takes on Stokes, pulls it back across the top of the 6-yard box, and Moyer almost got on the end of it. But it's almost like Charlton have saved all their second half efforts for the period of added time. Almost as though they were conserving energy for a late charge. Barker finds Joel. Murphy will keep this in. Barker's calling for it. Still Murphy. Oh, and it's into the arms of Whitehouse when there was so many Newcastle bodies in that box. Murphy was unable to pick one out. She's had a fine afternoon though, Emily Murphy. Skeels through the middle to Bradley. Back to Skeels. Picks out Rowe. Rowe's got space on this right-hand flank. Plays a 1-2 with Brazil. Tries to return it to Brazil, who haven't quite read it. Rowe again to Brazil. Brazil gets a decent cross in. Murphy picks it up just outside the area and tries to spark a Newcastle counter. Andrews. Greenwood. Into the final 2 minutes of added time. It's back with Stokes. Murphy. Lumsden. Lumsden with the effort. What a save again from Whitehouse. Oh, Sophie Whitehouse. It's been superb this afternoon. And this was the pick of the bunch, the best of the saves. She denies Lumsden again. Head in hands from Lumsden. Heading into the final minute of the added 7. Corner to Newcastle. Whitehouse again comfortably plucks it out the air and looks to spark a Charlton counter. Stokes prevented her from clearing it. And that opportunity might now just have gone. Free kick to Charlton. Well, two teams that saw their fading promotion hopes fizzle out completely with Friday night's result when London City Lionesses won. Have responded really well to that. They've set about it this afternoon as if there was still so much at stake. And is there going to be a late winner? Moya back to Chime. Chime with the shot. And it's glanced off a Newcastle boot. There's going to be a Charlton corner. Probably the last chance for a winner. Bradley to take it. Charlton started the game so well. Newcastle have had the better of it since midway through the first half. But at Charlton, going to have the final say. Bradley with the corner. Oh, headed across the 6-yard box by Chime. Newcastle throw. We're into added time at the end of added time. And there goes the final whistle. Thoroughly entertaining spectacle at the Valley.